Epique was started just over 3 years ago by Josh Miller and Janice and Chris. Josh was a Harvard guy, started a lead gen company, sold that out to Boomtown, did pretty well with that, was at Harvard, didn't finish at Harvard, just jumped into life, entrepreneurial, made some money there, jumped into EXP, watched that go and grow. Being a smart guy, let's figure out where the goods and the bads were, and then they piled up a whole lot more good stuff with the launching of Epique Realty. And they hit 50 agents almost instantly, and that was the number they needed in order to have a cash debt-free company. So since agent number 50, we've had no debt, no VC, no investors, just just 3 owners, and off we went. So love that, because that's an important thing when it comes to starting up a company, right? So with that being said, as always, let's start with something you don't expect, which is roadside assistance car washes. What does that mean? It literally means that your broker is going to make sure your car is clean. Like, you have free car washes with Epique, assuming we have a car wash near you. They're not everywhere, right? But most of us have them. Mine's a mile and a half away, so I love it. Roadside assistance, exactly kind of probably what you're thinking. If you're a AAA member and you got roadside assistance, you need to get a jump start. If your keys get locked away, if you run out of gas, Mike Blake, if you need to change your tire, whatever it is, they're going to be there to help you. And they'll help every car that you have licensed at your house, which is a really cool piece. So spouses, kids, everybody's got it. So that's a pretty good one. That didn't catch your attention. Let's talk about some healthcare. I know that you came to talk and hear about a brokerage tonight, and we'll get there, I promise. But this broker also offers you free virtual primary care, free virtual urgent care, free virtual mental health. And then we also take care of spouses and children. Small little fee for them, $20 for a spouse, $5 for kids. But all the other things, the primary care, they try to pick a doctor that's close to you locally. That way, if you have to go in and see them, there isn't a charge for it. But over the phone, you're not worrying about a thing. You're not being charged anything. So primary care, urgent care, I'm sure they're not gonna be able to teach you how to do stitches, but they can take care of some things like poison ivy on your face while you're on a trip. Right, Mike?
Yeah.
I've
used it 3 times for that alone over the
So guys, everybody just tell Mike to stay out of the woods, but that's not going to happen. So that being said, we also have prescriptions. So 1,000 prescriptions included, and then you have all the prescriptions that aren't included are discounted heavily, like up to 80%. I don't pick on the one person, but I always talk about one person that had a quintuple bypass. He's an agent with us. He's got multiple prescriptions. I had to go to the pharmacy every single month, get them refilled. All of the prescriptions now come to his house every 90 days. He doesn't have to go to the pharmacy anymore. That's convenient. And then eliminated $350 a month. So $4,200 a year is what he's saving just being with Epique because of the prescription care. So I think that is pretty awesome. Other than that,
I was reading a NAR study that showed that almost 50% of agents do not have any form of health insurance.
That's crazy. I literally just used the prescription thing tonight, and when I brought it into CVS for my son, they hadn't even seen it before. They're like, "Is this real?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's real. It'll work." And they're like, "This has too many numbers," and I'm like, "No, it'll work." They put it in. My total was gonna be like $65. Then they came back there and go, "Okay, $0." I'm like, "For real, $0." So I'm like, "See, I told you it was real."
Bam.
That is so cool.
It is cool. And there's all kinds of reasons, guys. You're going to see tonight, everybody, there's many, many, many reasons why it's the right move to come over to Epique. So getting into some more normal brokerage conversation stuff after we got rid of the eye-catching stuff. So mentoring and coaching. We've got daily coaching. The daily coaching is on a complete interactive, state-relevant learning system, coaching system called Earth to Orbit with Power Coach Rob Stein. And it's hard to explain, but it's not your normal online learning. It's literally interactive. You make a comment, it has a reply for you. Rob's sitting there with his arms crossed, waiting for your response to either tell you that was a great response or a terrible response. But nonetheless, it's a really cool system to set up. What it does is you can go with new agents if you want to build a team. If you've got an agent that's not doing well, or if you yourself aren't doing well and you wish you had better scripting, you wish you had better dialogue, you can go in there, do expired calls. He has a full open house, 3 cameras, videotaping from all the angles. And you can see a perfect open house ran, so you know exactly what to do and exactly what to say. So scripting is in there for everything, and you're going to get your first little dose when you onboard, because you're going to have to use the system to go through the onboarding. So it's a really cool system to have. The next,
he also does 2 live per week as well. So it's not just the LMS system, it's also live trainings too.
Yeah, so that's awesome, right? We also have Agent Hub 360, which is like a business coaching system, profit and loss, business blueprints, analysis of your business. I mean, 80% of realtors fall out of the business, you guys. Almost every single time they have the conversation of why they fell out, it's because something fiscally happened. Either weren't making enough, or weren't spending it in the right places, weren't doing the right things. So we can help you with that. That also is free. In addition to that, every area that you're in, we have an area leader. So that area leader is someone that's experienced, that's accomplished, that has had success in real estate, longevity in real estate. They know how to be an accountability partner. They know how to mentor. They know how to help. And that person is going to be reaching out to you on a regular basis, which is a nice thing that we have someone checking in on you. Additionally, they also throw monthly live events. So depending on where you're living, you're not going to be there all by yourself. You're not going to be on an island. You're going to know who else is with Epique. You're going to actually know who they are. You're going to do things and have functions with them. They might be educational. They might be agent attraction. They might just be for fun. So that's another piece that's going to happen for you in your area. You, in addition to that, have the person that probably invited you here this evening or helped you decide to come to Epique that's going to be there to assist. You have your state broker to be there to assist. And you also have concierge 365 days a year. You can call into Epique Concierge. And if they can't answer the question for you, they can at least direct you to who you're going to talk to get those questions answered for you. So a ton of support, you guys. So AI headshots, these are going to be taken care of. You don't have to worry about keeping your headshot updated. You literally can throw in 12 pictures. It will put the headshots together for you. You don't have to have your high school headshot anymore. No more glamour shots, none of that stuff. That's all done. That's all gone. And so you got this to be able to help you. Now, when you have your headshot, you're looking good. What are you going to do with it? Well, with us, we're going to put it on a billboard. That is a pretty awesome branding piece right there, you guys. And it doesn't happen when you get it doesn't announce that you're with Epique. It's while you're at Epique, you get this billboard the entire time. It's a digital board. It does rotate. You don't get static. You're not there 24/7. Let's understand that. You're going to rotate in and rotate through. The really cool thing that we also started this month was listing billboards. So imagine you're a seller when you're on a presentation, listing presentation, and they say, what differentiates you from your competition? You literally get to look at them and say, assuming that like little asterisk, making sure the house is above $400,000, but assuming the home is over $400,000, you get to literally look at them and say, I'm going to put your house up on a billboard. And that's not a joke. First 7 days of your listing, the house will be up on a billboard. The picture of the house, some details in the middle, and then your picture again on that left-hand side. So literally now you've got 2 billboards up with your face on it around town. So there's some pretty awesome stuff that's going on there. The billboards, if you're in a town that doesn't have billboards like mine, hopefully there's billboards nearby. If there's not, don't freak out. We've got about 65,000 locations that you can have your face on. Some of those might be right before the movie starts. Some of those might be digital LED boards mounted on the side of the buildings. Another option might be the new big, huge screens on those new gas pumps. You might be on those at your local gas station. So there's a lot of different options if we don't have the billboards, but billboards are definitely the priority and the primary option for us. That being said, let's go back to that headshot. What would you do with it? Well, Janice here put it on her rider, right? So you can put that on your rider. You can put your information on there. You can put your website on there, your QR code, your telephone number, every single thing that you want painted up there like a NASCAR, as Mike says. Put that on your rider. The sign itself, hopefully you like it. I love it personally. I think it looks like a luxury brand. And so I like the sign and the post. The sign and post, assuming that we've got an installer in your area, is also supplied by Epique, you guys. So free sign, free installation, free takedown, all this stuff taken care of by Epique. And if you haven't seen, we've got a little pattern going on, like all these menial tasks are being done by Epique. So that's going to free you up to do high dollar activity, listing and showing houses, right? So that's a really cool piece that we have. You get to personalize it yourself. If you have your own brand, you can send it in. They can give you an approval and you can do your own signs if you want to. But I'd say just take the ones that they're giving you and just take care of personalize the rider. That being said, listing photography, interior and exterior photography is included, guys. So again, we're looking good. Listing looks good. Everything looks good. Car looks good. You look good. Signs look good. Pictures look good. So if you want to do floor plans, if you want to do a reel, if you want to do video, those are up charges. You do have to pay for those, right? We're not giving it all away for free, but your interior, exterior photography is taken care of once again by Epique. So once everything is looking amazing and doing well, obviously you're going to sell. And when you sell, who wants to do paperwork? Not me. So if you love paperwork, you can still do it. If you don't love paperwork, we have transaction coordination that will take care of that for you. So turn that stuff in. They'll notify you of all of your dates, your contingency dates. They'll let you know if you have to have additional deposits or when your inspection is over. All of that good stuff taken care of for you by the transaction coordinators. And they'll even let you know, like before closing, if you're missing anything. So that's also another great little thing. With that being said, let's move on. By the way, guys, I don't know what you pay for your transaction coordinator, but $350 a deal I think is pretty standard. I don't know what you pay for your photography, $200 to $300. What you pay for your sign install, what you pay to advertise a listing. So I think you'll probably save about $1,000 per listing with Epique just on that alone. Additionally, from there, we're going to save you some time because it's a collaborative Canva Pro account, meaning all of the Epique realtors are in this one account. So you can go to LaShawn, she creates cool stuff, copy, put it in your folder, and then you can edit it and personalize it for yourself. So now you're not trying to create your own design. I'm not an artsy person. If I've got to create a flyer, I better have a lot of time on my hands. So the fact that I can just go in, grab one, copy it, and edit it up and be done with it, that's awesome. And again, another savings. Is it massive? No, but like $30, $35 a month. I mean, it all adds up. So another thing that Epique's taking care of, freeing up some of your time and your money. Social media ads. So love this. There's a couple things that go on with this, you guys. We have Social Bay, which is back at You Media. They actually will manage your social media pages, your Facebook, Instagram. I think that they do TikTok, LinkedIn. So they take care of all of these things. They go onto a schedule, onto a calendar. So you can pull the calendar up, look at what's going to get posted. If you don't like something, just cancel that one out. If you like everything that's going on, let it go. I know some people don't ever check. They just have a month of postings happening automatically like it's magic. Additionally, from there, they actually promote listings. Again, if there's a threshold of $400,000, if your listing's above that, then Epique is going to pay to advertise your house. So we all know some realtors that just stick signs in the ground. I don't think that's the right way to conduct business. So now you got to spend and market. That's I think that's what we're here for, right? We're gonna make sure we get a ton of eyes on our clients' houses and sell for big money. And then away we go. They're super happy and you get more business. But when that happens, Epique is going to actually take care of some of that advertising for you. So again, over $400,000, they'll put the ads out and all this stuff is going to feed back to you. Meaning when that ad goes out and someone has an idea that they like that house, they want to get some more information on it, they select it, it links back into your webpage. And that's sticky. So they're going to give their name, they're going to give their number. That's going to be pushed over to you saying that, hey, you've got a potential buyer. And then our system is going to actually have conversations and put them all the way through until they're ready for an appointment. So I'm getting ahead of myself on that a little bit, but this is a great opportunity. Additionally, from there, those leads can go one spot. And then we've got some other leads for you over here. So we've got about 12 different sources. As some are detailed here, for sale by owners, withdrawns, expireds, Facebook, Google clicks, Instagrams, all that good stuff. These are here for you guys. It's a speed to lead system. So they hit as soon as you see that person and it's in an area of your service, boom, claim them. They're going to go into your Lofty system, into your CRM. And then we have, when you guys will learn in a moment, our CRM system has an automatic AI person, Erica, who's going to actually have a conversation with these leads and with these prospects. And she'll literally walk them all the way to a point where they're ready to request an appointment and then notify you that you need to make a phone call. The coolest thing is, guys, they're internet leads. So it's not like you get one lead, it's gonna go, right? It's an internet lead. There's maturation time. They usually are like between, somewhere around 8% for internet leads, 5 to 8%. Maybe some people get 10 or 11%. But the coolest thing is when these close, unlike most other brokers that give you leads, when these leads close, you don't have to pay 30, 40, 50% back to the broker. That's why we have free leads, because there's no referral fee back to the broker on these leads. So I think that's pretty awesome as well. Here's what we kind of alluded to a moment ago when we're talking about Lofty and your CRM. This is a complete, robust CRM that's being provided to you by Epique. And this is not like the cheap version, you guys. This is the AI version. This is the enterprise version. This one I haven't seen less than $600 per month, and that's being handed off to you to use, included for free with Epique. And God forbid if you ever decided you wanted to leave Epique, which I can't imagine for a million that you'd ever want to do that. But if you did, now you don't have to, download everything in the middle of the night and get it all stored up before you leave. You can just continue the service with Lofty wherever you're at. So I think that's a really convenient factor as well. So that is covered there. What else does that lead to? Well, again, this integrates this whole system that we talked about a moment ago, all integrates together and it pulls right into your website. The website goes right into your CRM, your leads, your advertisement, everything, guys, is going to work together from day one. No additional money out of pocket to make it work. No crazy time out of your pocket, out of your schedule in order to get this stuff to work. So this is a high-end looking website. At least I feel like it's a great looking website. Personal story for me is I was getting ready to do luxury presents. We're in a luxury market where I'm at. I've been at Remax when they did the collection. They had to change everything to try to make a luxury brand. EXP did the same exact thing. They did a luxury brand. I was part of that. But the websites were all standard websites. Even though they had luxury attached to them, the websites did not look luxury. So I love this one. And the reason why I was looking is because when I was at EXP, I thought the website stunk. So I wanted to have a nice looking website. So $2,800 up front, $800 a month, I could have luxury presence website. For some reason, I stalled on it, thankfully, because we ended up switching to Epique at that time. And now I've got this website. This website is also fully customizable. So if you look at that picture and you think, oh, that's not what our area looks like, you can put your own picture in there. You can, so you can make it look like it's relevant to your region or to where you work or service. So I love them. Huge savings, and they do a ton of stuff, as you can see over here on the right. My favorite thing is home valuation. If you guys do a home valuation ad, I guarantee, hell yeah, I'm going to guarantee. Why not? Someone's going to click that thing. Somebody wants to know what their home is worth. So the cool part, again, is when that happens, they're going to lead all of their information. They're going to put all their information in. They're going to find out what their home is worth. And now you effortlessly, once a month, will contact them and give them updates. So they think, oh man, Sandra's really thinking about me. She sent me another update. So it's a really cool piece to have. And there's a lot more that goes along with that. Of course, your IDX search and lead capture, which you kind of already explained or already talked about as well. Getting into this gets into the technology. We've kind of beat that, like a dead horse, I guess. We've talked about that a few times. The really cool thing is we do have AI Pro. It's a certification that we give to you guys to be able to move forward and get your hands really on AI and the power of it. So I think that's a pretty cool piece. It is throwing me off, Mike, because it's not our normal pitch deck. Anyway, so Epique Cloud, this is your app. And no joke, you can run your entire business from your app. So this front page here, order listing photos. This is something that you're gonna be able to go in, order your listing photos, order your sign, order your billboard, order your listing billboard, all from that screen. The next screen, Broker AI, for example, you'll actually put what state you're in, and then you can ask Broker AI any question you want, and you're going to get a state relevant response. So you're going to get real estate advice from Broker AI that's relevant to the state that you're in. So I could ask it one thing, and if you're in Florida, you could ask it another thing, and we'll get two different answers, which is, they're relevant based on your state, which is pretty cool.
What's really cool about it is each broker plugs in what sites he wants to auto update. So I take all the top legal sites in the state of Michigan, for example, and if there's a new law that goes into effect, it automatically picks it up. So it's more responsive than any individual can be, because it's in real time reading all the new laws and it feeds it right through to our Broker AI.
Tested it too. I've gone on there and tried to test it, and I'm blown away.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like, if I get a lot of questions from agents, because we've got about 280 agents here in Michigan, and some of my resources that I use the Broker AI myself. Like, if I have an answer, like I have a legal hotline that I can call as well, but I always double check. So I'll ask the legal hotline what they say, and then I'll compare it to what the broker AI says. The broker AI is always 100% spot on.
The next thing after our app is the fact that, oh, you know what? Whoops, we did forget one thing. The very last page, guys, over here. This is basically like your social media class, your social media. This is like your Facebook. You get to go in there. We have referral groups. So we throw referrals around. Whatever events are going on, those are going to be held up in, those are going to be in there as well. What else is in there? Events. Oh, your area leader information, updates, things of that nature. So
yeah, your specific groups for your states.
So that is all in there. Con Ed. Like, nobody really loves Con Ed, right? So not loving Con Ed and then having to pay for Con Ed, that just kind of hurts twice. So Epique actually pays for your Con Ed. If you're in a state that it has to be live, then your broker, your state broker, will adjust and they'll do regional events so you can show up into a live class, take care of it. It still gets paid for, and then off you go back home after class. So for us in Michigan, we can do it all online. So we'll just do our continuing education online. So that is paid for and taken care of by Epique. Next little thing is the good old Epique card. Guys, it's pretty cool little card. I don't have mine in front of me, but just picture a white little business card. You hold it near a phone, it auto-populates, and you get everything. Like, you get my LinkedIn, you get my Instagram, you get my Facebook, you get my website, you get, I mean, literally everything.
And what's cool is you get to customize it and build it out however you so choose. You have all the links to everything you've ever built.
Yeah, and when you share it, it pops. You can set it where it pops up the screens where they have to give you their information, which is really nice, right? Because sometimes you'll hand a card out, and once the card is gone and they're gone, you have no way to recall and get back in touch with them, right? So at least now you use this, they give you their information, you can always check back in on them. So I think it's a pretty cool piece. And Mike and I went to an event, our cards got handed all around because people were like, oh, that's pretty cool, let me see. And a few days later, we had someone call us that wanted to talk about Epique. So that worked out pretty well for us. In addition to that, we did PowerCon, guys. PowerCon is our national event. If you're with a big national franchise, you guys all know you have these national events and you have to buy a ticket for $600, $700, $800 to get in the door. First of all, with Epique, that also is free. Your attendance is free and encouraged. So you just get a flight there and get a hotel and you get to get into the convention for free. But at our very first one last year, or earlier this year, they actually announced several more benefits. And there's even some that aren't even on here, like AdWorks is not on here. So it's discounted advertising, but dental insurance and vision. This is a pretty cool piece. This is the only thing that we're going to talk about tonight that's going to have a fee. So it's $25. You get both for $25 per person. You get, your exams, your procedures are all discounted. You get your contact lenses, you get a set of glasses, all of that for $25 per person. Mike's a great example for this. What were you paying, like $255 or $260 or something like that?
No, like $269. And
okay.
When I added on all my family members, it was about $127.
Huge savings, and he picked up vision. He didn't have vision before.
Correct.
So that's a nice little benefit right there. Our Lofty system, the one up here in the top corner over here, kind of talks about CMAs. So yes, we can't put CMAs together. Virtual staging we didn't talk about. So if we go back to that Epique Cloud app, we're in that AI section where I was talking about the broker AI. Also in that section is virtual staging. So no joke, after Thanksgiving, the day after, I'm on a boat, on a beach, on a sandbar actually. Might have had a cocktail in my hand. Had a brand new listing. It was vacant, and I actually threw my furniture into the living room, threw furniture into the covered patio, did all that like in a matter of minutes, saved it, updated my listing. Like, you would have had to wait typically a day for that. I would have had to pay $35 or $25 per picture. I mean, I don't know what some of the other people paid. What do you?
I see so many listings out there with unstaged vacant houses. There is no reason for anyone to ever have just a vacant house. You can literally show the pictures of it vacant, and then you can show pictures of it staged. And I would always highly encourage people to use the staged houses. It brings that house to life.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, mine sold the day of. I don't know if that was the reason why or not, but it was really nice, and it was easy, and it was free. So love that. AirVet, you guys let's go back to the health stuff that we were talking about. Like, no joke. Now we've got virtual veterinary care for your pets. I did use it. I've used some benefits now, Mike. So I did use it. Little Charlie, we had to hold him up to the screen. But no kidding, you guys. Like, you go to schedule it. I could have scheduled something for the following day at noon. Well, was it more important than that? Then you can wait. So my wife decided it was definitely more important than that. So we decided we were going to wait. The wheel came up and we literally waited 25 seconds maybe. And a veterinarian from her house, from her couch, answers the phone or jumps on the call. And we did a video call and took care of Charlie right there on the spot. I didn't have to go to urgent or emergency, pay that bill, which would have been nasty. The amount of time sitting there would have been terrible. We were off the phone in 10 minutes and she followed up the next day. It was like, hey, how is Charlie doing? So I thought that was pretty amazing. And it was all free. Like, seriously, that's awesome.
It saved a lot of our agents, just 'cause I talk to all of the agents like on a daily basis. It has saved agents so much money because the vets get on the phone, like upset stomachs, dogs throwing up, and they tell them what to do as opposed to taking them in right away. And sometimes they still have to go in, but a lot of times they don't. And it's a huge benefit. Like, otherwise you just have to go take your dog in, and now you might not have to.
Yeah, when you say huge benefit, you guys, 1,300 veterinarian appointments have already been booked by our Epique agents. Like, that's pretty massive. Some of the other ones, the fully customizable site we already talked about. We already talked about roadside assistance and the domain names, but Redo is a pretty neat piece. So just for easy explanation, think about walking into a house for a couple $100,000 and you think to yourself, man, for an extra $100,000, this house would be worth a lot more money. So Redo is that company that would be able to do that. They would come in, they would make $100,000 remodel or update to the house. Let's say it sells for $600,000 now. So now you're getting commission on $600,000 versus $200,000. That's a huge win. You actually get commission on the $100,000 remodel piece, like I think it's 5%. So that's another big win. And then your client and the company Redo, they actually split the profit half and half. So if they were going to get $200,000 and it costs $100,000 to remodel, that's $300,000. So now it sells for $600,000. That's an additional $300,000. That $300,000 they split 50-50. So what did it cost your client? 2 months. They try to have everything turned around in less than 60 days. But for that little inconvenience of time, potentially a big payday. So that's a really cool program. We also have Click Offers, you guys. Click Offers is our national cash buying program. So now you can advertise on the website, on social, listen, cash purchases, need to sell your house fast, need to sell your house now, whatever the ad's going to look like. You can actually do a landing page with our Lofty system. It will tie back into your CRM. So when anybody selects it, now you've got people that have an interest in selling their house cash right away. So it's a pretty cool thing to be able to offer. And it all ties in again to your system, to our systems that we're providing for you guys. So really, really cool.
Epique pays for the membership, which I was using this prior to Epique picking up that benefit, and it was $49 a month. It's one of the best marketing tools that any agent can ever use. You can send out handwritten notes, handwritten postcards, super simple to set up. You get to pick what font, like what handwriting style. I sent out 380 of these to houses in Oakland Township. In one mailing, I listed 4 houses almost immediately. And then 18 months later, I listed another one, which ended up being my largest sale ever. And I double-sided it, full commission. That was 88,000 just for the one sale. It was over 167,000 in commissions that I earned from literally one mailing that I used Thanks.io.
So Mike's obviously a fan. Obviously a fan. Okay. So guys, we just went through a ton of benefits. And crazy enough, we didn't even go through all of them. We just hit many of them. For example, what we did forget about was, how about elderly care for maybe one of your parents? How about pet sitting? Or how about a babysitter for your children so you can go out and show houses? That's another piece that's going to be offered by Epique coming this spring. And it's people that are actually background checked. They're actually going to have rating systems. We, as Epique agents, will have our own little scale of, be able to scale them or rate them ourselves. We can be like, oh, we've used them, we're happy with them, and then we can already know the good ones and we can start with those. So that's a really cool piece. Mike, you're sitting forward. What do you got?
I'm super excited for, the pet sitting. Like so often we need somebody to come and just check in on our dogs. So to be able to have that service and have Epique pay for it, they're doing everything to make agents' lives easier. They're so focused on helping agents that, just getting started. Like when we were here a year ago, we only had 17 benefits. They launched PowerCon, they rolled out another 17. He's so excited he can barely even speak at our weekly masterminds. And I'm talking about Josh Miller, because he wants to announce new benefits, but he has to wait till our next big release of benefits is going to be at our shareholders event, which is February 12th through the 14th. So it's just super exciting to see all the things that they're doing. Everything's not perfect when it first rolls out. There's always little hiccups, but here in Michigan, we have every single benefit. Everything's up and running. Occasionally we'll have, like maybe in Northern Michigan, we might not have a sign installer. So in that instance, if they don't have the sign installer, they will literally mail you a sign right to your house. So you get a free sign to use, forever. So it's just the things that they're doing. It's changing the industry. We're already seeing our competitors have to step up their game, and we love it because it's making the industry better for all of you guys.
Yeah, Josh has said several times, he doesn't know, the goal isn't to be the biggest one, but the goal is to be the best one and influence everybody else to improve all the other competition, to improve the lives of agents also. And that has happened. There's already been a couple of our competitors that have made plans that have helped their agents. And there's no doubt the reason why they were doing it is so they could try to retain them and not have so many run over to us. But to have all these benefits, guys, basically what they figured out is, we're going to do X amount of dollars per agent on a monthly basis. And then they turn around and they add all these benefits in until they hit that dollar amount. They haven't hit it yet. So we're at 50 something benefits and we still have I think 25 or 35% still to spend. So we're going to end up with another, probably going to end up somewhere in the mid 60s as far as benefits when we get done. Who knows, maybe 70. So that's a pretty cool piece. They do that, or they're able to do that because of strong negotiating, because power, strength in numbers. Me as an individual, I paid $35 a month for my car washes. I know they're not paying that. Let's say they're paying $1 a car wash. If I do 6 car washes, they're paying $6. $6 is way cheaper than 35. And, if they had to pay 35, they're not going to be able to do all this good stuff. So that's kind of how it's a small little example of some of the stuff that they do in order to have these, deals. And the neat part is even if they get all the way through and use that allowance up or use that allotment up, a lot of these, like Mike said, we had 16 or 17 benefits. And that was obviously negotiated before him and I even joined, 14 months ago. So eventually those are going to come back up, and now they're going to say, listen, if it was $1 car wash, now we want it for 75 cents because we've got, 5,000 agents instead of 100 agents. So that will free up money again for them to actually be able to add a few more benefits. So we've still got a little ways to go as far as adding benefits. And that's one of the big reasons we're going to do it. And the reason why we talk about sustainability is because when you go back and tell your broker you're leaving, and then you tell them all the things that they're giving you that he or she isn't giving you, the first thing out of their mouth is going to be like, they can't afford to do that. So that's one of the ways they afford to do that. And then the other ways, getting into the splits and the fees here, is we have a $15,000 cap, and 85-15 is a split. So you're getting more of your money every single commission check on average than any of our competition is doing. So that's an amazing piece, but that piece doesn't actually contribute to the benefits. It's these next two that do. So we have a monthly tech fee. Some people don't like to talk about monthly fees. I say this every single week. I love it. I love a monthly fee. It's not anything disastrous. Almost everybody has a monthly fee or a tech fee or some type of fee. We do as well. The reason why I like it, you guys, is agents that aren't productive non-producing agents that just want to hang a license somewhere, that would drain us of our resources. So we need to have producing agents. More importantly, that one agent that sells every once in a while, they're a higher liability to make a mistake. They're a higher liability to be chance to embarrass the name or embarrass the brand. So by having a monthly fee, we're not going to have as many of those people. We're going to have more professional, higher producing agents. And that's been the example so far with Mike and I of who we've been able to attract. And a lot of people that are on these calls or on this thing tonight, there's a few Epique agents on this tonight that are attracting amazing agents. And that's what we're chasing, right? So you've got a monthly fee, $149 a month. Joining before the end of the year, you can actually jump in the $99 one, which means you'd have to pay it 12 months in advance. Pay it all up front, $99. After January 1st, they're getting rid of that. It's going to be $149 for everybody. And the reason for that is it's just a logistical nightmare for them to track between the two. So they don't want to keep doing that, but we would be grandfathered. The other piece that helps pay for these benefits is the transaction fee. Depending on where you're at, transaction fee, compliance fee, data storage fee, everybody's got a certain name for this. Here where we're at, typically it's transaction fee or compliance fee. And if you look at that 0.1% and go back to fifth grade math, right, that's like 3 decimal places. So just think a $200,000 sale would be a $200 transaction fee to Epique. A $500,000 sale would be a $500 transaction fee to Epique. Never anything, they don't collect anything more than $500. So if you have $1 million sale, it's still $500. So understand that those transaction fees will add up, 500, 500, 200. When that number gets up to 5,000 for the year, you guys, then the max of $500 drops to 250. So for the rest of the year, all your transaction fees would be at the most 250 to Epique. I charge $495 personally on every transaction fee. So that's how it works out for me. But those two fees, you guys, the monthly fee, the transaction fee, that is what pays for all of the benefits, everything. So the $15,000 and an 85-15 split, that does not contribute to the benefits, just those two fees. So that's why those two fees are important. And that's how we handle all of the benefits. And that's why we can be sustainable. Additionally, from there, no royalties or fees. I can't even tell you in my days of doing the franchise stuff, how many people are like, nope, we don't have any fees. We don't have this. We don't have that. I get all my money, blah, 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 blah. And then you can look at one of their commission checks to see all these things being taken out. Yeah, they get all their money of what's remaining. They don't get all of the money.
You should be a specialist on these fees because you worked at FEMAX.
Oh, here we go. Now here comes the jokes. Here comes the jokes, everybody. So royalty fees and franchise fees, they add up. You have an 8% or a 10%, but there's a lot of 8s in our area. So $100,000, you're losing another $8,000. So if you're paying $16,000 to your broker and you got an 8% royalty fee, now you're really paying $24,000, right? If you do $200,000, now you're paying $32,000. So that can definitely add up, and we don't have any of those, so we don't have to worry about them. Airs and emissions, another freebie by Epique. So another goodie given to you by Epique. You don't pay for your airs and emissions. Love that. Okay. Going back to the cap, the $15,000. How would you like to have your 1-year anniversary with Epique and they actually reduce your cap by $1,000? They don't give you a Starbucks coffee card. Sorry to disappoint you, but they do save you $1,000 the next year on your cap. And that happens year after year after year until you get to $10,000. So understand that you're eventually going to be at $10,000 and have 55, 60, 65 benefits at 10 grand a year. Like, that's amazing. And that being said, I think you probably already want to join us. Just got to be honest. But if you don't, let me try to tempt you with a couple other things. So one of the big reasons Mike and I moved, right here, company stock. So right now we're a private company, you guys. Like I mentioned early in this presentation, no VC, no venture capitalist, no seed money, no investment money, nobody that we have to answer to, nobody that we have to pay back, pure cash, debt-free company. So we can go public whenever they decide it's the right time to go public. They're thinking 2026. I'm hoping to gosh that they do it like 2027 or 2028 so I can pile up more stock, but enough about me. The great thing is 20% discount right now. So every single time you close a deal, if you're not into stock, don't buy any, no worries. If you are into stock, then you can take 5% or 10% of every commission check and you can buy stock with it. The really cool thing is when we looked at it, or when I looked at it originally, when we first got here, it was like 29 cents at a 20% discount. We were buying it for 22 cents. Now we're buying it 54, almost 54 cents, 20% discount, 44 cents. The cool part about that is 22 to 44, that's a doubling of an evaluation, right? So the company's already worth double of what it was when I joined it. That's pretty damn exciting. In addition to that, you get some free stock. So even if you don't buy stock, you're still going to be a shareholder. You're still going to own a part of the company. So you're going to get free stock, as it says right here on the screen, by hitting your anniversary date, by joining Epique. So as soon as you join, you're going to get some stock. When you recruit an agent, you're going to get some stock, selling your first home, capping, or hitting power agent status. We'll talk about power agent in just a moment. So that is one of the really cool things. So if you own part of the company, shouldn't you get part of the revenue? I think you should, and they do as well. So at Epique, you're going to get 5 levels of opportunity. Meaning if I bring in agent 1, and agent 1 brings in agent 2, and agent 2 goes and gets 3, 5 levels deep, anybody on those 5 levels, I will get 10%, or you will get 10% of what is going into Epique. So basically of that 15% that we were talking about for the split, up to 15,000, 10% would be coming to you. So everybody could be worth potentially up to $1,500, right? We're going to add a little something to that in a minute, but that's the way it is. So 10% on every single level. So someone at level 5 sells a house, that money goes into Epique. Everybody up that chain gets 10%, 10%, 10%. Love this, you guys. The fact that you're part ownership because you own shares, right? You have shares of the company. And if you own part of the company, shouldn't you share in the revenue? Seems like it makes sense to me. So 50% of the revenue that goes into Epique gets shared with the agents. I think that's pretty awesome. The really cool thing about getting this is there's no qualifiers. Some of our competitors, you have to be able to recruit a certain amount of people in order to get paid on a certain level. Oh, if you want to get paid on level 2, you better go get 5 people on level 1, or else you don't get anything on level 2, 3, 4, or 5. We don't have any of these little goofy gimmicks. It's just clean, sweet, simple. You get one person, that person goes out and gets 500 people to join Epique. You're going to get paid on those 500 people if they're all on your 5 levels. So very, very, very simple. Mike, do you have anything to add to that?
No, it's just super simplistic. So a lot of people don't understand how fast it can grow. So I personally brought in 13 people. I do a lot of social media, and I had another 16 people that just named me as their sponsor. And those 13 people that I started with that I really targeted to come over, I now have 450 people in my revenue share in 14 months, which is truly life-changing.
Yeah, I have a dry erase board down here, guys, where my goal was to have 20 by the end of the year, and I've got over 200. So it goes faster than you think. A lot of people have some interest in the program, so that really is what helps out, because a lot of people want to know what you're doing. So that being said, let's move on to some other stuff. I hinted that I would talk about Power Award in a minute, so here it is. So a Power Award agent is a agent that does 10 million in volume or 24 transactions. So one or the other. It doesn't have to be both. And what ends up happening is you get that Power Award status, you get an extra 10% on your level 1. So that's awesome, right? So now instead of your level 1, you're earning 10% on, now you're earning 20% on your level 1. So that's a nice little bonus. You also get up to $15,000 in stock back, or 1,500 shares, whichever is less. Right now, 1,500 shares is what you would be getting. And I love that it says no cultural commitments. That kind of goes back to some of our competitors that make you do, picking up trash on the side of the road, or making you go to certain conventions or certain shows in order to get your stuff. So we don't have any of that. Power Award agent, you get these benefits and you get them automatically. Also, you get reduced monthly fees for $99. So that's a nice little add-on. So that being said, let me check the time. We are almost out of it. So let's hit teams and we'll hit them real fast. And if guys, whoever invited you, you can talk to them. They definitely will be able to give you information about teams. If they can't, they know how to get a hold of us. We can give you information about teams. And we're so pro teams that we actually have a team person helping agents build teams, to attract people with teams, and do everything that you don't even know about with teams. So with that being said, yep.
It's a handheld concierge service to bring over large mega teams. Any teams qualify to use the service, and we're building out that whole teams division. And we brought over a rock star. She's been doing it at a previous brokerage for the past 7 years.
So awesome stuff we've got going on. Unofficial teams. Just think about like 2 people that just want to be known by a certain name. That's it. All the stuff that we just talked about applies to them. It's caps, everything else, nothing changes, but they get to call themselves whatever name they wanted. A traditional team, again, team leaders, same exact stuff we all talked about for the first 50 minutes. Their team members get a discounted cap to $10,000. Like it says here, it doesn't decline, and they're at a $99 a month. The thing that I want to talk about real fast with teams is the fact that a lot of team leaders have to deal with constant cycling of teams. Like they'll bring a new person in, teach them how to do it, then that new person leaves. The new person, they're not new any longer. They learn how to do it, right? But once they learn how to do it, they go and want to fly on their own. A lot of times that happens because the team leader is getting all the attention, the team leader is getting all the awards, the team leader is getting all the accolades, the team leader is getting all the good stuff, and the people that made that team leader look so good gets nothing. That, again, does not happen at Epique. Because we're so agent-centric and focused on the agent, your team members can get all the goodies that the team leader can get, that an individual agent can get, meaning they could be a power award agent. Your team members can get an extra 10% in their level 1. Your team members can get extra stock back. Your team members can get all the good things as they would get if they were an individual agent, which most likely is going to lead them to stay on your teams longer than they would being in anywhere else. So that is a huge advantage for us in comparison to our competition.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, so that team leader cap, it's 15,000. The team leader cap does decline with loyalty every year down to the floor of 10,000 once they've been here for 5 years. So $1,000 a year to the floor of 10.
Yeah, and the other really cool thing that I didn't mention, let's say that agent does move away and they move into their own and decide to fly on their own. If they were with you for 3 years, if they were with Epique for 3 years and they slide over as an individual agent, Epique again loves that loyalty and rewards them for that. They would move over at $12,000. So they get credit for those 3 years of loyalty of being with Epique, which I think is another awesome thing. Family teams, it's a pretty heavily discounted setup. It's $7,500 per person for a total of $15,000. That doesn't decline because obviously it's already below the $10,000. So that's great for husband and wife or siblings that want to do something together. So that's the family team. The power team is 140 transactions or 40 million in volume. If you do that, you qualify for a power team. That team leader is automatically gets the extra 10% on level 1 because he's a power awarded agent or she's a power awarded agent. So they're at 20%. Again, 15,000 declining cap. Their team members are at 5K. So it's a pretty big discount there. And that they have to pay, all the team members with the team setups with Epique, you have to pay at least 5% to your team leader. You can pay more, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, but you got to pay at least 5% to your team leader. That's how those two works. And we can get into that a little bit more in detail if you guys want. When you go back again to tell your broker you're leaving, because I know you are, because this is, come on, this is amazing. If they look from a broad view and they go, well, listen, they've got a CRM, they got a CRM. We've got leads, they've got leads. We've got this, they've got that. It's all the same. It's all the same. And if you look at like this, a very basic layout, yeah, it could look similar. I mean, we still have the advantage because the buyer seller, no fees on the leads. But if we get into the details, again, this is an old slide. We now need to have 50 of these green check marks, and they'd have a lot more, 4 times more red X's, but it doesn't change the landscape at all. We've got a lot of stuff. They don't. We're at 15K with 50 something benefits. They're at 15 or 20K with a logo. So it's like, to me, pretty obvious, but that's just my opinion, of course. So with that being said, you guys, the thing that we want to make sure that you do, and I don't know why it's not going to the next page, but the thing we want to make sure you do is whoever invited you, talk to them, thank them for inviting you. We thank them for inviting you here. We do this every single week. We like to do this. We try to do this to help out our agents that don't really want to talk about this stuff. Sometimes we've got agents that are like, listen, I don't want to do agent attraction. So we tell them, hey, don't worry about it. We'll do it every single week. Just invite people over here. So if they thought enough of you to invite them, please think enough of them to at least answer and let them know what your thoughts are and how you feel. And then we'll open all this up for questions. Mike, what do you got to say?
What do I have to say? I just say thank you. It's been an amazing 14 months, and I'm so looking forward to what 2025 has in store for us, because I truly believe that we're going to go to 10 or 12,000 agents. We haven't even hit our exponential growth yet. So we haven't even begun mass adoption yet. And I'm starting to see it now here in Michigan. The traditional people who have mega teams that just couldn't come over when we were that young, because when we first started here, we had systems that had kinks in it that we needed to work out. Now I'm starting to see mass adoption, and large, like people who I never thought would be calling are calling, and they want to learn more. They're seeing our like. A huge team leader called me last week. He says, I'm seeing your signs everywhere. He's like, I think it's time for me and you to have another discussion. So it's really cool to see the growth. I think here in Michigan, we're going to go to 700 agents by the end of 2025. So super, super excited.
And the cool part is we have a lot of high producing agents. So we'll climb the ranks, guys. We'll get up in there as far as one of the best producing brokerages in the state and the country.
So I ran our numbers here in Michigan today, and so they're very skewed because when we came on, we only had 12 agents. So that's what we launched Michigan with, was like about 12 agents.
Yeah, and no rollover business, right? You guys all know if you have pendings in December and they roll over into January, you start the month off with a bunch of closings. We didn't have any of that, so we had to start the month off. We started off with basically nothing.
Yeah, so we've closed 1,475 transactions year to date here in Michigan alone. And so if you look at it, like with our agents now, because we have 280, it comes out to about 8.5 transactions per agent. But if you calculate on like the median, because back then we only had 12 agents, so we're up to over 16 agents or 16 transactions per agent in Michigan, which is just off the charts.
Yeah, that's amazing
for a brokerage.
Yeah, that's better than almost every single brokerage I know of, except for maybe one. Mike and I give each other a hard time about this, but I mean, no doubt about like that's crazy impressive, especially for a startup, especially for us just getting going. Like, I think it's going to be amazing. I think we'll have that number one spot soon. So it'll be pretty cool. Guys, you have any questions? Anything for us? Oh, Mike, talk about Spark. I saw that one pop up.
So Spark is a new referral business, and what it does is it allows you to act as if and look like you're a much larger team. So say, for example, right now you have a referral. Say I live in Michigan, I have a referral down in Florida. I can use the Spark service, and they will handhold that client. They will hire a Epique agent. They'll do all the vetting. They'll find the Epique agent in Florida, and that lead will always stay as your person. And the Epique agent in Florida will act as an extension of your own team. So it's super, super cool, because right now agents hand off these referrals like crazy. They never deal with that person again. The Spark team keeps you in control of that lead, and it brings it back to you. So it's always truly your lead, and it looks like it's your sale. So it looks like it's just an extension of you. So it makes you so much bigger. And we run a mastermind tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the same channel, joinpowerplayers.com. Everyone's always welcome.